We are the New Foundation, a non-governmental organization focused on creating awareness as well as sustainable avenues to ensure that the average African child has relatively free and easy access to standard education, quality healthcare, potable drinking water, and good nutrition in a relatively safe and sustainable environment. We aim at not only achieving but also sustaining our adopted SDGs, which include SDGs 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 11. In this regard, we have created quite a number of projects and programs that will aid us in achieving these set goals. Our yearly project and program outline can be found on our website www.dinofoundation.org. The search for Pantomath. As part of fulfillment of SDG 4, which spells out standard education, the New Foundation collaborated with the Calabar University Dental Students Association, CUDENSA, to organize a one-day academic project event titled Academia 2.0, The Search for Pantomath. The event, which held on June 3, 2021, featured a parliament quiz, a judiciary debate, and several other educative presentations. The New Foundation donated 500 branded foundation exercise books, numerous school bags, certificates of participation, and lots of other gifts to the winners and all participants of the event. It was quite a remarkable day.
Please, do we have a contestant ready? The contestant. Bring the house, please.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our name is Daniel, studying coordinates. So, the tournament format is going to be British parliamentary format debating. So we're going to have 4 teams and closing opposition. So these 4 teams are going to consist of 1 speaker each, and each speaker is going to be competing to move. Each speaker is going to be competing to move to the next round. So, sorry for that. Each speaker is going to be competing to move to the next. Each speaker is going to be competing to move to the next round. So in round one, we're going to have 4 speakers. 2 speakers are going to move through to the final round. So the speakers have been given 15 minutes to prepare on a motion. The motion reads, "This House believes that cloning should be legalized." So the speakers have been given 15 minutes to prepare, and they are about to come and commence the debate. Here.
Thank you very much. Please, the contestant, where are they? Please, okay. Now you come first. When the person will come first, they will. I beg, if you are a unique student, try me, you know, the base school fees first. Because we don't get what.
We'll be calling on the Prime Minister from opening government to start the debate. Here.
Good day, House. Good day, debaters. Good afternoon, everyone. From opening government, we are here to defend the motion. The House says human cloning should be legalized. And I'll begin, first of all, by defining a couple of terms in the motion. First of all, human cloning, the creation of a genetically identical copy of a human being. Note that there will be no modification of genetic attributes whenever human cloning is done, because the word cloning permits us only to make a copy. And also the legalization, meaning the act of making something legitimate and subject to regulation of the law and government. So, on to the motion. First of all, I'm going to bring a few points in favor of human cloning in terms of the health argument, economic argument, and others. And starting with the health argument, I want to point out to you that human cloning is going to produce an exact replica of an individual that has been cloned. What this portends is that we have an advantage in terms of organ donation, tissue sample taking, investigations which will be made easier, because since we are investigating an individual who has a copy, it is way easier to do that. Also, we also benefit from human cloning in that there will always be a cure for infertility. For people who have been told that permanently they can never have children, they will always have the advantage of getting a clone of both halves of their gene and making a child. Also, like I pointed before, human cloning renders tissue donor absence permanently. The absence of tissue donors in emergency situations will no longer be a problem whenever. Furthermore, talking about the economic benefits of human cloning, I want to point out that the minimization of sudden death and abrupt end of various valued individuals in society will be prevented by means of human cloning. For example, when we lost the president, Yar'Adua, if we had a clone for Yar'Adua, we would have a very good president in seat as at then, as it pretended. If we had had the ability to clone individuals, when we had lost Nelson Mandela, we would all forever have that immortal person there with us. If we had had the ability to clone individuals, we would never have lost Michael Jackson. We would never have lost the rest of people, because they will forever be with us. Furthermore, I want to point out to you that these people are not just memories for us. They are not standing as signs of immortal greatness, but we constantly have the treasures they possess. Because when you clone these individuals, you constantly have the ability to get rid of them, to get research in their areas of specialty. What this means is that, for example, if you were to clone the greatest mathematician on earth, you would always have the greatest mathematician on earth for as long as the clone exists. The benefits of human cloning, ladies and gentlemen, are innumerable, but I will further go on to try and number them by pointing out that in nature, there is a process in nature that eliminates the weakest individuals, that prevents the faults to continue existing. And what this does is that it leaves only the best individuals. And if we had human cloning, we would ensure that the grime of society would be permanently eliminated, because we would be able to regulate the cloning process. What this means is that we wouldn't have criminals being cloned. We wouldn't have criminals has living for so long. In fact, the genetic predisposition to criminality might be permanently eliminated because we will constantly be able to clone good humans who have had good both home training and social awareness. Finally, I want to point out that the opposition might bring a few arguments saying that a clone might be maltreated and not be treated as a human being. But the truth is that whenever someone is cloned, that person, all the genetic attributes of that person are replicated, meaning that the clone itself is just as much as a human being as the original copy, which prevents any form of maltreatment. And also, so the opposition might want to bring up some arguments of repugnance, saying that it is an unnatural thing to do. But I want to point out to you that every scientific innovation that has ever been brought, that has been whether beneficial or otherwise, has been seen as repugnant by some set of people until it was proven to be beneficial and accepted. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I've been able to convince you that the state is good to protect individuals who benefit more from being able to clone human beings than not. Thank you very much.
We thank the speaker for that beautiful speech. We invite the leader of opposition from the opposition bench to start the debate for the opposition side. Go ahead.
The chair, the house, and my fellow co-debaters.
I standing as the first speaker of the opposition angle, stating that human cloning should never be legalized. Firstly, I hear the first speaker of the proposing saying that organ donation. Now, don't you think these organs, when they are not properly fixed into the human system, can cause a really disadvantage in the future? I think that should be a question you need to answer wisely now. Now, the first thing you need to understand, human cloning is an adage brought to the society. What do you think human cloning is all about? This thing is actually saying that technology, bringing in technology into the society. Now, and we all know that technology has done more harm than good to the society. Now, why do you think we should actually bring in human cloning inside the picture? Since we all know that technology has done more harm than good, and you are still insisting that they should bring in human cloning, that is that. Now, the next point is the ethics. Now, human cloning has destroyed the human ethics in the society. Now, human thinks that there is a probability that they can stand against our God, in the sense that there is a way that they can produce humans, in the sense that going against our moral and our ethical values. Now, the Muslims and the Christians have agreed that cloning should be watched, never be legalized in the society. Now, I think when it has to do with the religion, when the both parties, the Muslims and the Christians, has disagreed on this value of human cloning, then I think we all should agree that cloning should never be what? Legalized. Now, when you talk of cloning, we have three types of cloning. We have the gene cloning, the reproductive cloning, and the therapeutic cloning. Now, when we talk of these three parts of cloning, and you still insist that this thing should be cloned, or humans should be cloned, I disagree, and I totally stand on the fact that this should never be legalized. Most scientists know these things, and when they do them, they don't think about the future, they only think about the present state. And now, all these things has its own side effect. That is the health effect, and they have so many side health effects. Now, the number one side effect is one, in the bed size. Two, the defect in vital organs like the liver, the brain, and the heart. Now, we also have premature aging. Also problems in the immune system. Now, most of the scientists don't really understand this thing. Now, they most of the time wants to blame non-humans now, but it also has side effects. Now, I heard him when he was saying that cloning of the teeth and all that. Now, when you clone humans, probably they might have actual normal effects now, but at the future, there will always be a side effect, because when you clone humans or you clone things, there will always be a negative and a disadvantage. Now, we are not actually talking of the advantage. Let's look at the disadvantage part of this cloning. Now, when you look at the disadvantage part of this cloning, we all know that definitely you should not, or humans or any other things, strong organism should never be cloned. I hope in this few points of time, I'll be able to convince you and convince the judge and the heart that human cloning should never be legalized. Thank you.
We thank the speaker speaker for that final speech, and debate has ended in the opening half. So we invite the member of government to come and commence the debate for the closing half.
The House, the Chair, I'm here to propose or to support the notion that this House holds that human cloning should be legalized. First of all, I would like to say that the fact that it should be legalized means that now human cloning is performed illegally. It has not yet been legalized, so people do it undercover. And I want to point out that if you're doing something in science, like you're trying to hide, trying to make breakthroughs, it makes you to kind of hide and do some things that you're not supposed to do. Maybe you're hiding and then you're afraid of being caught. But I think that if this is legalized, then scientists will have more freedom to be able to research freely, to be able to understand that, okay, I can do this, and they'll be able to put in their best, and they'll be able to eradicate all these problems that come out from cloning, because I believe that most of the problems of cloning is because they are not given fair and ample chance to use what they know how to do best. Also, I'd like to point out that when we legalize cloning, it can help us get rid of some issues with pregnancy, because we know that the rate of death during pregnancy is high actually from some third world countries. I know when we are working with cloning, we don't need to go through the whole process of sexual reproduction again. We don't need pregnancy and all that. We can just make clones that will be able to pass on the traits from other people. So I think also that legalizing cloning will help us get rid of all these issues with pregnancy, but even parental custodies, when we have problems in court, when people are dragging for who is the parent of the child, who gets to keep, who gets to take. But remember that in a clone, it's just one person we are cloning, and it's not, it doesn't have to be two people, and so just that one person is, let's say, in charge of the clone, something like that. Alright, and also I would like to say that we've heard of evolution before. Evolution is kind of a process that helps organisms to kind of adapt to their environment and to get better alongside. And evolution takes time. Evolution is a process that occurs for a long time. But I feel like the human race, we are not yet completely evolved even now. We need to evolve the more. And I believe that human cloning is also something that will help bring about evolution of the human race. Imagine when we have the freedom to be able to pass on good traits to other people. You can imagine that we'll be able to create an entire race of, good, intelligent humans that can be able to increase the intelligence capacity of humans. Remember, we are in an industrial, in a jet age, and whether we like it or not, technology is already taking over our lives. And I feel like we have to also move on and we have to catch up with the trend and also join and try to make ourselves even a lot better and compatible to be able to use all these high instruments and technology that we're already coming up with now, so that we can be able to make ourselves a better race, as I would say. Even though some people can be able to make a good, let's say a good and an intelligent race of humans that will help us to better live and change our environment the more. Also, I think, like I've just said, class, all these genetic issues, when we clone, I think that we'll be able to live on all those things that cause death rates, because we have genetic issues like anemia and we have those sicknesses. And in the end, we come up with a healthy race of individuals. So I think that if we are able to legalize cloning, people will be given the free science completely normal and healthy individuals. Because I know almost everyone of us here does not like the state of diseases and genetic problems that some people are born with, and they just can't help themselves. But with cloning, we can be able to eradicate all those genetic disorders. I believe with these few points of mine, I will learn from this class.
The